The Densha de Go series has been around since the mid-90s, first appearing in arcades and then making its way to a variety of home and handheld platforms, including the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn, WonderSwan, Game Boy Color, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, Wii, PSP, Nintendo DS, and smart devices. There's even a standalone plug-and-play system as well. Now, a new version of the game was released on the PlayStation 4 in December of 2020, Japan only, and the publisher Taito, via Square Enix, is set to release the game on the Switch on March 18, 2021. But what can gamers look forward to in this Japan-only train simulation? That's what we're here to talk about. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Today, we're taking a look at the Switch version of Densha de Go Hashirō Yamanote-sen in this preview, going over modes, controller options, and more. Now, let me start off things by just saying this. I'm definitely not one of those crazy train people or somebody that stands in front of the train platforms snapping photos while trains pull into the stations. So if you're looking for an in-depth look at something like that, there are probably some other videos out there for you. Of course, having been in Japan for over a decade, I've rode trains all around the country, including the famous Yamanote line, which runs through the heart of Tokyo. Now, while I'm not an expert on trains, I think you'll be able to get a fairly good understanding of what this game is about by the end of this. At least I think I can give that to you. But anyways, let's start off by talking about what Densha de Go is, and focus a little bit on this title specifically, Densha de Go Hashirō Yamanote-sen, or Let's Run on the Yamanote line. Now, the series itself is a simulation style of game that puts you in the driver's seat of a variety of trains across Japan. Now, in this case, and as the title indicates, you'll mainly be driving trains around the Yamanote line, which, again, runs through the heart of Tokyo. Each station along the line here is faithfully reproduced, and not only that, but the latest addition to the line, first in 49 years, the Takanawa Gateway, is here as well. Now, there are a few basic things that you'll need to keep your eye on while you're behind the wheel here. So, of course, there's a speedometer. You're going to have to mind your speed as you're zipping around the various stations in Tokyo. The game displays your current speed and the speed limit of the area. Now, there's also an on-screen gauge that tells you the distance from your current location and your final destination. The closer you get to the final stop position, the higher your score. Now, for arrival time, right below the distance marker is the time you have left before your next stop. Now, the goal here is to try to arrive right on time. Now, the closer you are to the mark, again, the higher your score is going to be. Operating trains is a pretty tough job here in Japan, so there's a lot of things to remember, such as the door closing sign. Now, when all passengers are boarding the train, you'll eventually need to turn on the door closing sign. Now, from the shot here, this seems to be done by pressing the next button when prompted. Now, don't forget to turn that thing on, because, well, I don't think they're going to show people getting hurt, but yeah, anyways, this is very important. Now, dimming your lights. When passing an oncoming train, as a courtesy, you'll want to dim your lights so that you don't blind the operator on the other side. Now, this can be done with a simple press of the B button. Now, speed. Now, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but as with cars, speed limits are usually put into place for a reason. Now, the same goes here with trains. Now, here you'll want to stick to the speed limit as much as possible, but at the same time, you're still going to want to be speedy enough to arrive at the next station on time. Your score depends on it. Now, the train whistle. Now, as part of safety protocols, it's your job to blow the train whistle from time to time. Now, for example, you'll need to do this when passing through bridges or like special train bridges and stuff like that, or when there are maintenance personnel out on the tracks. Now, sometimes this is even done as a bit of like fanfare, like when the train is already pulled into a station or something and people are checking out the train, or if people are up on like an overpass, sometimes the conductor or the person driving the train will let out a toot or whatever to kind of appease those people. Now, when it comes to modes, there are quite a few different ways to play the game here. So in Ouchi de Go mode, there's a couple of different things that you can do, and one thing is called Engineer's Road. Now, this is like the main mode of the game where you'll likely be spending a majority of your time. Now, divided into chapters, there are a variety of missions that you can clear, each with 5 difficulty settings. Now, by completing these missions, your driver rank will increase. There's also this thing called a daily roulette. Now, basically once per day, you can play through a random mission that is set at a random difficulty. The missions reset daily at midnight. The available routes will tie into the progress that you've made in this Engineer's Road mode. Now, for free run, you can actually fully customize your train types, setting, departure and arrival stations, and even alter the weather. Now, like daily roulette, the trains that you can select here depend on your progress in the Engineer's Road mode. Now, an arcade mode is also available here with a couple of different things that you can do. Now, there's one thing that's, I've kind of translated it here as aim for the ultimate engineer mode, if you will. Now, in this high score mode, the game features arcade-like gameplay as you try to reach your way to the top of the rankings. There are multiple difficulty levels of challenge here too, with the goal basically trying to hone your skills to be the best. I don't know if these things are online or anything, but yeah, it's a high score type of a thing. Now, there's another thing here based around the Yamanote line and the Sobu line. Now, these are missions that are particularly popular in the arcade versions of Densha de Go that have players traveling across, again, both the Yamanote and Sobu lines. Now, on the Yamanote line, you can play between Harajuku and Shinagawa stations in Tokyo, and on the Sobu line, you can test your skills from Ichigaya to Akihabara. Now, additionally, the Yamanote missions will feature newer train models, aka the E235 series, if that means anything to you, as well as older train models here too. Now, the appeal here is for like train heads, people that are really obsessed with this stuff. It'll kind of give them a look at what these old vehicles would look like running through a modern-day Tokyo. Now, another thing here too, lines that run parallel to the Yamanote line here are also available. So if you're kind of familiar with the lines in Tokyo, I'll kind of rattle off some stuff here. If it means nothing to you, don't worry about it. But lines like the Saikyo line, the Tohoku line, Ueno Tokyo line, and even the Narita Express are included here as well. Now, unlike some of the previously released games on older platforms, gamers won't be able to purchase a special controller like they did in the past. There are some options here that don't involve buying more plastic junk just to shove in your living room or closet or wherever the hell you want to put it. Now, for the Switch version of the game, either the Joy-Con or Pro controller are supported here in the standard way that has players accelerating with the left joystick. Now, another option, which is more in line with what you might expect from a game like this, allows players to separate Joy-Con and to control trains that have two handles. So yeah, that's kind of cool. It gives you a different way to play. There's really no, at least as of right now, there's no like footage or any kind of like PR stuff showing pictures or video of that. But yeah, it sounds kind of interesting. Now, Densha de Go Hashirō Yamanote-sen looks like a pretty interesting game to me. Now, the new modes and control options for the Switch version also make it look pretty fun. Now, is there a chance that we'll see an English version of the game sometime in the future? Well, while I think that's highly unlikely, I should note that the arcade version is getting some kind of a test run in English in Houston, Texas, at Dave & Buster's, according to a report from Siliconera right now, as of February 2021. So, who the hell knows, really? But what do you think about all this? Are you interested in the Switch version of Densha de Go? Do you already have it on the PS4? What's your favorite station along the Yamanote line? Be sure to sound off in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Now, as always, thanks for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop us a like. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We got tons of podcasts, video reviews, previews of Japanese games just like this, and a whole lot more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.